morning, everybody. Hello, Petey.
Hello.
I feel like I'm
Hi,
close
everybody.
enough now to call him Petey. We've been through a little journey twice.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. There he is.
He doesn't like being called Petey, though.
No. At least not by
Petey
Pearl.
boy.
He's not a fan of that one.
No, not by the former babysitter.
No.
Which we will get to in just a little bit. In case you did not hear, we are discussing the second half of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season. We did episodes 1 through 5 a couple weeks back. Today we'll be covering 6 through 10. Before we get started on that one, I will remind everyone there is still time to register for the ever-shifting May the 4th event, side.show/May4th, beginning this Friday, May the 2nd. Going through the weekend. Sign up now, register, and get your $5 in Sideshow rewards. Another thing that's changing every day, daily deals. Side.show/daily deals. New day, new deals. Go check them out. They update every day at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon p.m. Eastern. Go check them out. Great way to save some money on products that you may have had your eye on for a little bit. Just nudge over the edge.
Like maybe a blue Ewok today.
Oh, the Ewok is there. Just in time for May the 4th.
Right.
Very nice.
All right. What about that? Check that out.
I love that little guy. He's so cute.
Oh, yeah. He's adorable.
Mhm.
He's not expensive either. I don't know if that's a male or female Ewok.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
In the painting that went with it,
Is that a name?
it was a mom walk.
There we go.
Mama Walk.
It was a mama walk.
All right.
She
looks
is so adorable then.
Maybe it's a Mr. Mama Walk. You don't know.
It could be.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Could
also
be.
true.
Looks like
The
Westerly,
possibilities are endless.
Little Michael Keaton crossover.
Westerly may have had their eye on that Ewok.
Get it
I
now
have
and
to.
have it in time for May the 4th.
Get it?
Yep.
Get your
Get
orders
some good pictures in. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't verify how long.
We're not in charge of shipping,
Yeah.
so
I don't know where you live either. People get things a lot quicker than me most of the time. I'm on the other side of the country. I think Mike even gets things faster than me. I know
I
Steph
think he
does.
was last.
Steph gets like 2-day shipping.
Yeah, Canada for some reason.
Yep.
That international shipping is like there.
Yeah.
Steph's shipping and my shipping are usually like pretty much, which is crazy because
Yeah.
I'm like a few hours away from
Yeah.
HQ and Steph is in Canada, but our shipping is very similar.
Mhm.
But he's on this coast of Canada. He's all the way over here.
It's weird.
Right.
It's
yeah.
weird.
It's very
Blows
strange.
my mind. Blows my mind every time.
It's probably his private jet. Steph is basically like Batman, so probably like
I received my
What
toys
happens
on
with your
PJ.
management? You get this.
I know. Yep, exactly.
All the perks he gets.
We may not have a private jet, but we do have SMS messages that you can sign up for. Side.show/SMS notifications, exclusive discounts, and subscriber-only giveaways. Side.show/SMS. Looks like I got a preview for this week's SMS giveaway. Last week was Indoor, right?
Indoor.
Appropriate,
Indoor was what?
too.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just
This
caught
one
up on
fits
those.
in with our stream.
This week's perfect.
I've been catching up with that season. God, that show's good. But this Friday, you'll have your chance to win the Miles Morales Purple Rain 6-scale figure. This is listed as Miles, isn't it? I
Yeah.
believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
Not Spider-Man. This is the Miles Morales Purple Rain suit. This will go up on Friday as part of an SMS giveaway. Sign up now. Make sure you are receiving them so that you get your chance to win. You can also, you also always have your chance to win at Phony Phantoms. Side.show/games. Earn extra rewards through weekly challenges that I'm legally obligated to tell you about. This week's challenge.
It's slightly better. It's slightly better. Yeah, because
Two.
Yeah.
that works.
I'm okay with this. This feels like a little bit of an apology from Seiko. You're going to get a minimum score of 222, which is really the numerical alliteration, sort of. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
I like it. I like the numbers. I'm cool with that.
You have to score that. Kill 75 screaming bats, 50 pumpkins, leave them horny eyes alone, and the cloud demons leave alone.
That's always solid advice. Leave horny eyes alone.
Yeah, it's
Let them-
true.
They've got important
Always
stuff to
trouble.
do, Let them carry about their business. And I guess that you said that the Cloud's the extra guy, right? So that's like you're just not going to get an extra guy for this play.
If you kill that guy, you get an extra life.
Yeah. Good luck. No extra dudes, and you got to score 2/2/2s.
2/2/2.
I mean, you can kill them. It's just not required. These are the minimum requirements to pass.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was like
you don't.
couldn't.
No, you can
Oh.
kill all the horny eyes you want. It just isn't part of the challenge.
It
Go
just
for it,
doesn't
then.
count towards anything.
I'm not going to tell you
Just
how to
your
vent
own
your anger.
sick satisfaction. Yeah.
All right, and then something else. This one's for Jesse. I guess today
Yes.
is Superhero Day, correct?
It is. It's
today.
National Superhero Day today. Yes.
Not
Happy
the event
National
we had
Superhero
2
Day.
weeks ago.
No.
Yeah, 'cause
There was
this
other
would've
stuff
been
already
disaster.
on the plate for this week.
But we did that on purpose to save ourselves some sanity. But it was
Mhm.
inspired by today because it is National Superhero Day.
And Hot Toys was nice enough to give us our first little tease of this Superman suit. I'm not going to lie, it looks better in 6 scale right now. I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it, so I can't be 100% sure. But man, that suit looks good as a 6 scale.
Yeah. Well, people were commenting that it's more form. It looks more form fitted.
It's a little more fitted.
Yeah. So we'll see it in live action and see. But yeah, it looks incredible. And the design, like I love the suit so much just because you do have that. It's classic, but it's modern. So to me, it is just a perfect balance. But yeah, it looks really good in 6 scale form. I mean, look at those biceps.
Classic trunks and symbol. And then you kind of got the lines that were kind of like Jim Lee New 52.
That piping.
Yeah.
Where he puts weird lines all over stuff for no reason. Yeah.
Yes, he does. But it's
more
it's
detail.
really cool.
Pay me more money.
Speed lines.
I love it because whenever I think of like the Kryptonian culture, they were very science based. So to me, this looks like, I don't know, it has a science like a different technology to the suit. So I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, it looks incredible in 6 scale form. Like I can't wait to see the rest of it. Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Science suit. Yes.
Got all kinds of new science in it. But that does it for our housekeeping. Before we get into the Spider-Man, I will remind everyone that we will have a show, I believe, Thursday before the event, just to kind of say hi, make sure everyone knows what's going to be happening. Hopefully by then we have it all finalized.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Hopefully that'll be the last day that we'll get changes. But we will pop in on Thursday and give you guys all the heads up, the lowdown for what's going on around town. That's it.
Yep.
Now it's time for Spider-Man. So if you have not watched the second half of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series,
Illusion.
spoiling is going to happen.
Guys, it's been out a while.
Yes. Oh, I should have gotten my suit
So
out.
perfect.
I ripped an earbud out.
Oh. With the hood up, you look like a delightful cross of Ghost Spider and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yes.
It's swimming around in here somewhere. Get back in that ear hole.
I can't hear. Just gonna try and fix this real quick.
Nice.
Let's see. We
Can't
are
really see my notes, but okay.
We are picking up on the episode 6 is where we are. 5 is where we left. I'm picking up on episode 6. Right out of the gate, we kind of start to see some repercussions for Lonnie's choices joining the 110. He has been placed on probation through school, and we watch as he's kicked off the football team and then refuses to shake his coach's hand.
It was his coach's fault. Come on.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
That
he
was
gave you ample
that was
opportunity.
the beginning of me going,
Yeah, and as we discussed, they kind of get away from the needless character drama or friction a lot in this show and just kind of let the story progress. This is kind of like the first time you get a little bit of just character kind of making a turn, like a heel turn. You kind of see he's not the nice dude that he usually is and refuses that handshake. He also then gets confronted by Pearl, who wants to know what the hell is going on.
She sure does.
Yeah, she has questions. Yep.
Lonnie says he's doing it for his family, which is kind of a lie at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes the thrill of it now.
He could have fought that whole thing a little bit harder to
Right.
get out of the situation. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and he also says he's relieved to not have to fit into other people's ideas. It seems like he's making the excuses for himself to justify kind of what he's been put into. Or I think he wants this, I was saying, a little bit more than he lets on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the tough guy.
Well, he gives into it relatively quickly. Like he knows
easy.
In the beginning, he knows it's wrong, but I think, I don't know. I think part of him does definitely, he's always been like the perfect son, the perfect athlete, the perfect this, the perfect that. And there is so much pressure. So then all of a sudden he can kind of let go of all of this perfectness, but still be appreciated. And I think that's why he kind of gives in so quickly, because he's like, I don't have to be this model everything. I can just let go, but I can still have this group of people that are going to rely on me and look up to me and count on me.
He's still part of a team.
Right. Exactly. With far less, I don't know if you want to say stress. I mean, he's just, it's more freedom.
It's a different kind of pressure.
More freedom.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
you could get killed. But there's football.
Yeah, and because they hinted earlier in the season that not for nothing, like Lonnie's being scouted. He is a very good student. Like he has a very bright and promising future ahead of him, and he is just literally throwing it all away.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want that.
Yeah,
and I think it's also like we were talking about, kind of internally what Lonnie, some part of him wants, and he really leans into, because he's not really pressured that much.
No, he's not.
No, he's not at all.
He's
and
so mad at his brother for doing it, but he slips right in there and is like, all right, I'm good.
Well, yeah, he's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
I think I like, and I think it's very believable. Like, I think they do it, they tell the story very, very well. Because there's a lot of pressure on him. And I think in the one episode where we see him, traveling home in the beginning of the series, that long trek from school to home, and he's just kind of letting go when he joins his new team, and he has this newfound freedom. So they do it very well.
And this is also, so we're starting to see Lonnie make his turn. This is also where we get to see something that we talked about briefly, but I wanted to bring up so bad in the first half. This is where we start to see Nico and Harry interacting.
Yes.
A little more.
So cute.
They're so cute. They are an adorable little pairing. Again, the storytelling it's done so well in such a short duration of time, because they have this rivalry, this jealousy of one another. And then very quickly it starts to turn, but it's the writing in the show is just done so well, because we don't have very many episodes, but so much storytelling goes on.
With the fluff of other series. They're like, no, imagine that you're flipping through the pages. There's not.
Yes.
And I love their first kind of introduction, because it is like Peter apologizes to Nico for inviting Harry, and then proceeds to say, well, why don't all three of us just get together in my house then?
Yeah.
Right.
Makes her very aware to watch movies and hang out and snack. That experience, you kind of like merge to, you might be a friend with this person, a friend with this person. The first time you kind of bring them near each other, not quite sure how it's going to work out. And I think they do a good job of that, kind of showing that briefly and getting through it quickly when they're picking movies. So they both want different movies.
You're right.
And then are both so quick to be like, oh, no, we'll go with yours. We'll go with yours. You don't want to upset the new friend. And then Peter's like, perfect compromise. The only movie in the box is actually a real movie. And I'm like, I guess that's because Disney has the license to Predator.
Yeah.
Product placement.
I wrote the two choices were Tomb Buster and Zaniac.
Tomb Buster. I loved that. Yeah.
Tomb Buster and Zaniac.
And Tomb Buster was a little too on the nose.
That's a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
But brilliant. I cracked up at that. I was like,
You
well,
want a little foreshadowing if you didn't already pick up on some stuff? Here you go.
right.
Right there.
As if giving him the nickname wasn't enough.
Yeah. Just more.
Yeah.
But they have their little dinner movie, and of course, as always happens, anytime Peter's doing anything, he's called away.
Great.
Leaves the two of them to sit there and bond.
Right.
Wait. My favorite little tiny thing was Harry never having raisins before and asking
Oh,
what
yeah.
kind of caviar.
Oh my,
What kind of caviar is
these
it?
are amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that was cute.
Your maid must be.
They're like, what?
Like they were literally eating ants on a log like preschoolers.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
just
that was
blown away
adorable.
by how good
What
they
kind
are.
of caviar is
That is a
this?
horrible movie snack. Who eats ants on a log?
Are you eating something?
No, I don't like celery.
Yeah, me neither.
Ah,
You dress it up
do
as
it.
much as you want, still celery. So we see them all kind of, and they're also playing 3 board games at once, which I thought was a cute little
I
touch.
loved that.
Instead of deciding on which board game to play, they're actually playing 3 at the same time.
mm-hmm.
Harry gets a call from Norman looking for Peter because Peter's turned off his phone. So of course Peter has to go investigate a breach at Oscorp because Norman is away talking with Secretary Ross at a big fundraiser.
Mhm.
I also thought there's a nice part in that too where he shows he's like, anything that you need from us, from Oscorp has you. We even have our own superhero. Spider-Man is on my payroll.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
willing to help out. And he shows him Spider-Man as listed as being Gallows. So while he was putting him out there, and I'm like, that's kind of scummy. I did like that he was still protecting Peter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
does his head of security know that he just registered him as a superhuman?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Tell him that.
I mean, is he in on
Right.
it? Did he get a pay bump for that? Because you're now in a government registry.
Yeah, you're on a list.
But that's one of those things they just kind of glossed over.
You're on a list,
Yes.
bud.
This is filler. You don't need to know.
And because they are hinting again, this movie is right after Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a whole different universe, but right after Civil War, they talk about the tragedy at Lagos. They talk about the Sokovia Accords, all that, and that's why it's like, yeah, I got my own. Here he is, and puts Gallows on a government registry for some reason.
Which was a cute nod because he is Ricochet in the comics, who is a Spider-Man identity.
So it's
a cute little Easter egg if you're a Slingers fan.
Oh, there are so many throughout this entire series. There's, again, we said in the other episode, pretty much if you see anyone given a name, they're
a thing.
They're a character somewhere else. Anytime. We've had then we get one of the best cameos, I think, of the entire season. Spider-Man goes to investigate what's going on Oscorp. Who's there? Daredevil in what I would argue best damn suit there is.
Oh yeah. The suit choice. Oh my god. I screamed. I was so excited. Oh, I love the suit so much. Such a great choice.
The suit design.
Shadowlands Daredevil.
Yeah, the Shadowlands Daredevil. But then having Charlie Cox come in and do the voice for this Daredevil, because they didn't get Cumberbatch for Strange.
No, but he's as close as you could possibly get.
Yep.
Because I was convinced it was him.
Absolutely.
They are kind of different level. I mean, Charlie's more TV star.
Yeah.
Benedict is more movie star. So.
I mean, listen, he did What If.
That's true. He did.
True.
Jonathan, yep, we need that in 6 scale. I would love one of these.
Yo,
absolutely.
I mean, Sideshow had one a few years ago.
Didn't we have one a few years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. I still have the exclusive. I've got the original colorway right here. I don't have the Shadowlands version.
The Shadowlands version was really epic. I remember that well. I would love. There's so many figures. If they start like releasing, I'm gonna be in trouble.
He's in trouble. I'm in danger.
Not just with Spider-Man, like like Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that in a 6 scale. Like I love his costume design. so much. And this, like, all of, like, Honos, like, go for it.
Get 'em.
Price point is good. Go for
What
it. Start releasing them.
I do like Steve. The animation on the rooftop fight was very well done.
Wasn't it beautiful?
The Daredevil and Spider-Man fight that happens is very well choreographed. It plays out really fun. There's a lot of banter, of course, as with any Spider-Man fight.
Yep.
And the thing that I like that they kind of, it's one of the things they show a little bit before they even mention it. Daredevil's by far the more skilled fighter. Spider-Man is only relying on his speed, his strength, and his powers, and he is barely able to touch Daredevil with all that.
Right.
How well Matt Murdock is at fighting, or how good he is at fighting.
To be fair, Rob, this is still holding back Peter.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Holding back Peter, but he gives him a real run for the money, or Daredevil does, and then eventually overcomes him pretty easily and knocks him out with a club to the back of the head. Great concussion for Spidey. But it is a really good fight, and Daredevil hints that, hey, you don't know what Osborn is doing.
Yeah.
I'm here checking things out. Really kind of the first concrete piece of information we get that, like, oh,
he's up to something.
Osborn's gonna Osborn.
Just knowing.
Yeah, because we don't know. As we said, we don't know how this universe, how everyone will play out. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop with Norman.
Yeah, well, that was kind of my, like, we know, like, in the stories that we know well what is going to happen, but while I was watching this, I didn't, I wasn't sure what direction they were going to go with everything. Like, you catch on pretty quickly that Osborn may be, a little shady. So when Daredevil comes in and kind of solidifies that, you're like, oh yeah. So what is he up to? But I loved how that whole scene progressed, and just the interaction between Daredevil and Spider-Man was perfect. Great scene.
There's a couple they do some cool cutaways or cut betweens, little segues throughout this entire show. This had one of my favorites too, because Daredevil knocks Spider-Man out, says sweet dreams, as we're cutting back to Nico and Harry doing a tarot card reading that Harry has asked for, and Nico flips over the devil card.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. I loved.
It's wonderful.
It's so fun. Just they put so much thought into every little thing that they were going to do, which I think there wouldn't be room for the fluff and the filler that nobody misses, because they took more time to do little things here and there that just stand out.
One of my favorite little things was a nod to the films when Harry says, "Go get him, Tiger." And I'm like, oh. And then when he does, like, when he scares the crap out of Nico and she punches him in the face, that was another, like, little, to me, a nod to the film with the upside down, like, kiss scene. And but the go get him, Tiger, like, those I thought that was so precious.
I didn't like the go get him, Tiger. All I could think of is, that is not your slogan, bitch.
But it's a different world. It's a completely different. So anything goes. That's the thing. Like, and the fact that they still put it in there, like, as for me, it was a nod to the films. I liked it because it's totally different.
My favorite little throw to the films is when they're trying to find Norman figures out that it's Doc Ock that's been supplying all of the weapons, and he's like, we can track him down. I got to figure out what the power source is. And him and Peter going back and forth. And he's like, what about solar power? And what's the line? I don't think he's able to harness the power of the sun.
Yeah.
Little nod to how ridiculous that was. Yeah, I like that.
I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Remember that movie you all love so much? It was pretty cheesy if you think about it.
I don't think he's able to harness the power of the sun.
Yep.
Well,
power of the sun in my hand.
Well done. Yep, power of the sun in my hand. That was a good one. And that's where the that episode ends. The first one ends, and we also at the end of that get the first real conflict between Nico and Peter, because Harry just spills the
Oh,
beans.
whoops!
Sure
Such a good
does.
moment, though.
Oopsies.
Peter is Spider-Man. Oh, I do love the way he screams, I thought she knew!
Well,
she
and it's
storms out.
adorable. He just figures that she knows. Like,
Yeah.
they are best friends. Like,
Mhm.
why wouldn't she know? But, you know,
Right.
obviously there's always the, you know, the superhero wants to protect the people that they love the most. So
Mhm.
they
It always
nobody knows.
backfires.
Right. It does. Jonathan said Nico is the most intriguing. Look forward to
Mhm.
her character. Yes, absolutely agree. Nico is a really, really fun character.
Mhm.
But yeah, I
Gets
loved
her too.
I loved all of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the very next episode, as her and Peter are still fighting, Harry goes over to apologize
Mhm.
for his part in it, and you get they go on a whole lunch date. Harry
It
teaches
turns
her
into a whole thing.
Yeah.
Harry's teaching her to drive.
Oh, the the racing scene was
Awesome.
so fun. Oh
So
my
good.
God.
And you can even tell when Nico and Harry are having their whole conversation, she is struggling to be mean to him. Like it's really like she's looking for ways and realizing even after she says the things she says that like I'm being hurtful for no reason, and kind of get that read off of her. But when they talk about intrigue and look forward to her arc, you get another little peek at something else going on with Nico during the drag race.
Yep.
As they're whipping down, a car pulls out. You see her necklace light up, flash just for a brief second, and she immediately pulls the wheel, swerves, and avoids the car. Doesn't mention it. There's no other calls to it. It's just you have to be able to just spot that the necklace lights up for a second. And I love the way they've been doing that, just kind of like giving you these little breadcrumbs, leading you for Nico is more than just Peter's friend that he met on the first day at Midtown.
Right.
What do we have there? Norman. Yeah, Norman gets down to he's able to track down his base. I doubt he manages to harness the power of the sun. You learned that Norman fired Octavius for starting to mess with gamma radiation to power some of his suits.
I love Octavius in this cartoon. He is
amazing.
so ridiculous. And like when he's like his like dancing through like the warehouse as he's beating everyone up and like annihilating everyone, and he's just so happy. And oh God, I loved it. I love him. And it's funny. I mean, I'm never like, oh, I love the villains, but like he's one of my favorite characters in this series because he is so fun and
it's hilarious when he's sitting there working,
very entertaining. Yeah,
working on his computer. He gets the little pop up from his assistant. He's like, "Are you playing that game again?"
And have you eaten anything today?
Mm-hmm.
It's just junk food.
Yeah, Doc Ock's living like a basement dwelling teen playing his MMO songs. I'm just level grinding for now.
He is hilarious. I absolutely adore him. He's so great.
And he does later get that scene that you were talking about where the SWAT comes to get him. SWAT comes to arrest him. Osborn's turned him in. And he almost has like this little like walking dance sequence as he's going around his lab. Just I would say murdering those cops, but they all just show him at the end like,
they were fine.
He's having a great time, like
loving it.
He is just loving it, and I was cracking up at that scene because I'm like, man, he's having fun at work. Like,
are we going to address the fact that he only took one bag of money?
I absolutely.
He has all this money on his shelves, and he takes like one pile.
Just take a little bit.
He's not too greedy.
No.
Take a little for the road. A little spending cash.
Doc Ock getting out there after he defeats the SWAT. I think that's an 8 or whatever. After he defeats the SWAT team easily, who shows up?
My boy,
Ironsman's.
Again, the suit design choice. Oh man, love it. Love it.
Classic.
Yeah, the classic.
Classic.
The classic.
And we're basically already getting this from Hono, so you can have this team up with your Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. And it's a great moment too because you watch Doc Ock just wreck the SWAT team without even like barely batting an eye. He's not even breaking a sweat, and all it takes is Iron Man just shows up and he's just like, Okay.
His little face falls.
like,
and
"I'm
he's
done."
just like,
Oh, damn it.
fine, Stark.
Fine. I thought that was a cool moment again,
It's a
especially
great
after
scene.
setting up like, oh, Doc Ock in his lab is like undefeatable.
He should have just run back inside then.
Yeah.
Why did he stay out there?
Come get me, Tony.
Yeah. Bye.
You could
Yeah,
have gone
sorry to
back
spoil that for you, JJ, but you didn't do your homework, so sorry.
And you had an extension. We gave you an
You did.
extension. There's no excuse.
That's true. That's true.
and you know that Iron Man is in this universe because in the very first episode, Aunt May does have an Iron Man.
Hanging in her little
Yep.
review area.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is so cute. Yeah, JJ, it's such a great show, and it's a quick watch. It doesn't take too long.
I was
But
actually like, it's one of those things that ends and you're like, but it was so fast.
yeah, and that's what I like. It was, but there was so much character development in the time that they had. The animation is beautiful. The costume choices alone, like, mad respect for all the costume choices because they were all brilliant. It is such I'll get around to it. Well, when you do, you will enjoy it. Like, it's a quick watch, and you get very attached to like each character.
You do.
Like,
Yeah.
in such a short duration of time.
We almost watched Peter get beaten to death by
yeah.
Scorpion.
Oh, that was hard to watch.
Yeah, you want to talk about like this show again? We're saying kind of it doesn't really spend too much time on fluff or side. It's very very focused on the stories that it's telling. So much so that yes, in episode he almost dies.
Oh yeah,
Scorpion puts a hurting on him, bad to the point where,
very bad.
and it is so sad when you hear Peter like calling for help to Norman.
I hated that.
He's all
Like, he's like,
busy
"You
in his
jerk."
his fancy thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
was so mad.
he thought the fight was over because
Yep.
Spider-Man wraps Scorpion all up and he thinks everything's good and he starts
Yep.
walking away. So Norman hangs up the call and goes about his business.
Yep.
And I think that's the first time we talked, like we hadn't seen these spider sense triggers. I think that's the first hint of the spider sense because you hear like a and he starts to turn and time kind of
Yeah.
slows.
There's
as,
no lines are drawn. It's nothing like that, but that's definitely the moment.
Yeah, and
That's what I almost blabbed last week before.
I
I was like,
I was wondering.
I think spider sense was used.
I also love that in that moment when he's literally about to die, he is still so painfully polite about trying to get the attention of all. Like, he's like, any ideas, Mr. Osborn? Any ideas on what I should do? Like, he's still like so Peter about. He's not like screaming out. He's trying to survive, but at the same time he's like very respectful about and it just says so much about Peter Parker.
And that rescue moment was pretty cool too.
Yes, we get a prototype goblin glider come busting in that distracts Scorpion, and Spider-Man just is barely able to climb onto it to get zipped through. Oh, and it is sad moment. I felt so bad for little Petey.
Yeah.
Poor guy. And that I do want to. It looks like Mike put them in here. I assume these are some of the comic covers from the intros. The show.
Oh yeah, we have some of the intros and some of the outros that.
For episode 8, my first note is another great cover homage at the end of the credits. Because here you have just some of them.
Look at that.
So 8 is right before that Scorpion and 9. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good.
I've now been watching all of the beginning and ending things because I didn't realize I was missing stuff.
yeah. Like this is the end of each credit sequence has its own cover, and I love them all.
Yeah, this one I was just because we had a print. We had that print for a while, and I was like, oh man, that is such a classic. Like, I love this so much. And before you even like know what's gonna happen, you like know what's gonna happen or something similar to. So this was brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was so well done and such a clever choice.
Yeah, and because that's the episode right after Scorpion has
Yep.
just wrecked him. He gets taken away, and then that's the last scene.
Yep.
The next episode's credits, and it's like, oh man,
You're like, oh man,
doing
what is
this,
gonna
huh?
happen? Yeah.
fine.
So well done. Such
yeah,
a
and
good choice.
We do get a much slower episode there as Spider-Man is recovering. Norman's got him in a special unit, so he's recovering quicker, of course, because it's part of his power set. This is also where you have to figure he gets his blood samples from, which comes in pretty handy in episode 10.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
God, the way it all.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. This whole everything ties so much together.
During all of this action, you've got Peter's now paired with Pearl to do their science project.
Yep. They are lab partners now since Lonnie has been expelled from school.
Yep.
Right.
Calls him, as we said before we started, she calls him Peter.
So
drops
thrilled.
the Petey.
Calls him Peter.
And who's their third and their
she was great.
Taking all of these selfies and everything, and you think like she knows nothing, and then she comes and kills the project.
Oh, that was amazing.
With like some dissertation, basically.
And everyone's like, and then at the end, she's like, selfie. Yeah, just perfect.
Yeah, as another side. I don't know if she's ever named. I feel like that character will be someone later down the road. Bye, Mike. Perhaps. But yeah, we start episode 8 with him in the hospital. He sneaks out like you do, but he doesn't even get all the way out. He sneaks about like into the hallway before he hears people screaming and finds the interns all together with excitement working on their project. You see Doc Connors, a bunch of animals go by, and you start getting hints at that. Doc Connors mentions they're turning this place into a zoo. I'm like, okay, we're going there, huh? We're just gonna. I mean, no, you have much more foreshadowing than a one-armed Dr. Connors, but boy, are they really driving it home if you aren't familiar with that. This is a whole episode
that gave me very slice of life Gremlins 2 vibes. When they had all their animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, that episode 8 is like 8's the kind of the slower one because it's mostly about him recovering, him trying to build back his confidence. He's lying to May about his injuries, and she is not having that.
Oh yeah, the skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Really bad at skateboarding.
Stabbed myself through the chest with a skateboard.
Yeah.
You get this really touching scene too where May is apologizing that Ben wasn't there for Peter.
Yeah.
So another hint that this is, while there are a lot of similarities in the universes, this Peter has had a dramatically different upbringing than not in his life, as far as you can tell, barely at all. Instead, it would have been a good role model for Peter. Boom, we cut over to that's when they cut over to Doc Ock with the assistants. But she's driving kind of home this point that she wants Peter to have that role model that Ben should have been, which is driving him right into the hands of Norman even harder.
Yes.
Yeah. Boy, you're doing a bad job there, May.
Yeah, instead of having the whole, my mentor is going to die, it's my mentor is going to be evil.
Yes.
And we get the just to reinforce the fact they're showing like, okay, Norman is kind of the Ben. We get the twist. What is it? With great power comes great respect.
Great respect. Yes.
The ugliest line.
I don't like that at all.
It gave me the ick. Like, I knew he wasn't going to say, responsibility. But
I knew he wasn't going to say
like,
responsibility. I didn't know. Like, I was wondering what it was going to be. And so when he said it, I was like, ooh, I don't like that.
I was hoping that Harry was going to deliver like the line.
And
then they did that. And I was like, I'm glad you're shaking stuff up, but I just don't.
Nope, but they later on, they like Peter realizes that that's not.
Yeah.
Like that's not it. And so I'm wondering if later on if they'll shift that. Like if they'll come back around to the OG responsibility.
Or even
because
if Peter says it, like that would be perfect.
Right. Well, yeah, because you see him like on the verge of, killing Scorpion, and he has that moment. He's like, well, but with great power comes great respect, and it's like, no,
yeah,
And
like that's not it.
I think I like the idea of Harry kind of delivering that line to him, because you almost hear when Peter repeats it to Harry that Harry's like, yeah, for my dad,
right,
respect has come with power, but like you're Spider-Man, you don't need anyone else.
You have a different set of
you
have
have a different set of different responsibilities, different powers, a different thing. So like I think they could roll that in with Harry correcting that in the future, and I'd like to see that, because we don't know like what they're going to do with Harry,
right.
Because
I wouldn't mind seeing in season 2 they bring in Captain America and he gives him the right line, because he's such a Cap fan.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, they're both big Cap fans. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mentor, and not an evil one.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be really well. Yeah, because you see, they both love him so much, and as we see with the new suit, like how they both agreed that it needed to be more Captain America. So that would actually be a really, really adorable little nod, because that would definitely shift, Peter's mindset, especially if he is so set on Osborn kind of being his mentor. I'm sure he's going to have this turmoil, like, oh, but I was looking up to him. So if Cap comes in, like Osborn, like he's out. Like, like forget you. Like I have Captain America now telling me, like, well, forget you, man. Like that'd be really cool. I would love to see that.
Another cool thing that happened in that same episode, as Peter and Harry are talking, you hear like, oh, this police scanner starts going off about a truck hijacking.
Yeah.
And he wants to get to it. And then they're flashing back to the 110s, trying to buy information on where all this tech is coming from. And then as they start playing that story out, you realize like, oh, that hijacking is the 110s. That's Big Don and Lonnie trying to rob the Oscorp truck.
Yeah.
Because I think it's episode 7, I think, or episode 8 finishes with them hearing that. And Peter wants to go, but he doesn't have a suit. And Harry's like, "Oh, we got you a suit."
I got you a suit.
The glimpse in Peter's glasses of the traditional style Spider-Man suit.
Yep.
And then they go, we open up an episode and go right into that plot. And yeah, it's Lonnie and Big Don are the ones hijacking this shipment of Octavius tech. And then we also get this great moment. I don't know why it hadn't happened before. Then we get Nico and Pearl just kind of having girl time. And I'm like, that feels like a natural fit. Why is it waiting? We feel like we got 9 episodes in before they touched on like, oh yeah, those two would probably hang out.
Yeah.
Like, no Peter necessary. They'd hang out. And as Peter
wouldn't that be funny though? Poor Peter thinks he has his opening with Pearl, and Nico comes in and swoops him.
I totally thought that. Thought that.
She looks.
She called my Peter. I'm in. And
yeah. Well, you see them hug, and you see Nico, like you see her little eyes light up. And she's like, maybe I have a chance. Yeah, I totally thought that. Poor Peter.
Yep. Yeah, that's how Peter really, what they seem to be setting up is the people that are closest to him are going to hurt him very badly.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so they've swapped out like that emotional damage of him just being a nerd in high school and getting picked on to be like, hey, everyone around you is going to betray you.
Yep.
Almost everyone that you are friends with is a supervillain. Waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Which we then, of course, see because as Spider-Man arrives at the hijacking, he's able to stop the truck careening into Nico, saves her life, gets back to figure out what's going on, and the 110s are robbing it. And that's when we get Lonnie finally getting exposed to gas.
Yep.
And the true introduction of Tombstone begins. He's saved as he's recovering from the gas, and then Scorpion attacks, and Lonnie can take it. To where the scorpion sting doesn't even penetrate his skin. And that during that fight, the two of them fighting together, I love that fight scene too.
Yeah.
and I loved that scene where you see Scorpion, like that stinger going into Lonnie, and like you just see him from behind.
Yeah, you see
and
Peter's
then it
perspective.
pans, and you're like, oh man.
Oh, he's
like,
just holding it now.
yeah. So I really loved how they did that entire scene. It was super well done.
Yeah, and it is before that scene, I think, is when we get our second kind of spider sense, because there's another moment, I think, when the Scorpion first starts walking through the crowd, that you get the
right.
and he's like,
and
Peter
that's right.
starts to have an absolute panic attack, because again, this is the man who almost killed him just like 2 days ago.
And that was another part that they did like so well, because you felt like while you're watching it, you felt that anxiety, like which I think sometimes with animated, I don't know, you don't capture those feelings like as strongly, but they did it so well with this. Like as I was watching it, I was getting anxiety. Like I'm like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? So they did it really well.
And another way they pay off that, like, just kind of subtly, that it is just it's more in his head than in the reality, is they show it. It looks like Scorpion's just beelining towards Peter. And Peter's just, you know, they show the split and he's sweating and he's panicking about it. In reality, Scorpion is heading to Big Don. And he starts just beating the brakes off of him. Easy target for Scorpion. I feel like that's kind of low. And then that's when Peter steps in and the fight begins and they get Lonnie involved and all that. But I thought it was a very nice touch to show, oh no, he wasn't coming after you. Like you were panicked. Yeah, he wasn't even concerned.
Yeah, and then we see the true colors of Big Don.
Dude, hightails it out of there.
Quits his own gang in the middle of a fight.
Yeah. Later.
Literally just says, I quit. It's like, I quit. I don't think
which pissed me off so much, because it's like, dude, I had so many feelings when I was like, I'm out.
So much. Like,
right. Like you can't quit. You're in this forever. Like this. Yeah. And then and then we see, but yeah, it was a lot. And then Lonnie's just like, all right, well,
he's like, dope, I'm in charge now.
My time to shine.
Yeah, as the Scorpion Lonnie Spider-Man fight scene, that's probably a good 10-15 minutes of this episode. It all revolves around this fight.
Yeah.
There's a really cool shot too that they have at one point where it's from inside a building looking down at the fight, and you can hear everything's kind of muffled, and then Spider-Man jumps up to the window, so you hear like outside his hands hitting it, and Scorpion's tail comes up, smashes the window, and it opens up all the sound like you're outside.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, that was
like, man,
cool.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
That one. Lonnie and Peter finish Scorpion off with a double flying punch, which is pretty wonderful. And then Scorpion also knocks a bunch of beams off. Lonnie takes the brunt of it, which is when Peter finally starts to go into overdrive mode and just goes ham on Scorpion.
Yeah.
And it's where we get like just that you hear Norman's voice rattling around in Peter's head. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. I need you to be as strong as you can.
Great respect. He has that going through his head. And that's what he's trying to get through. But Lonnie is actually the one who steps in. And it's like listen, like, no.
Yeah, he stops Peter from murdering the Scorpion. Because he was about to kill him with his own tail.
Yeah.
Oh, he sure was.
It was a moment.
Very poetic. But
yeah. And that thing was already broken too. It's not sharp. He was going to try and kill him with the blunt version of his tail.
Yeah.
This particular Spider-Man likes to kill people with a blunt object, as we saw in that first episode. He smashes that kid with a brick in the head.
Oh, the brick! Yeah.
Kid was fine.
That's only the first murder in the show. There's another one. There's at least another one, because the Scorpion kills one of the 110 the first time he comes in there. Without a doubt, kills a guy. They show him just ramming the Scorpion sting into him and picking him up.
Yeah.
And just loose limbs are hanging down out of the top of the screen. Like, that guy's dead. Just killed him. But he does not kill Scorpion. Lonnie steps in and tells him that he can be better, which is a weird thing coming from a man who just inherited a gang.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it really speaks to he still has a little bit of that, good versus bad, which I think the big moment, the big turning moment is when we see him throw away his Letterman jacket. And that's really the defining, like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that moment with Peter was the last hurrah to his good guy. And then when you see that Letterman jacket go, you're like, yep, he's gone to the other side. Like,
yeah, and I think that happens at the end of 10. That's like one of the final.
I believe
one of the
so.
final scenes
Yes.
in the series. Because what's nice is if you follow the whole arc, it seems like everything is wrapped up in 9. It's the second confrontation with a Scorpion. He takes him out with Lonnie's help. Everything seems like it's reasonably settled. You're like, usually this is kind of where a series would be like, and we're done.
And now you can wait.
Yes.
But no, we get that episode 10, which just kind of wraps the entire damn season in a big loop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which was incredible. I
awesome.
loved that. It was so well done. We see that little spider, which I loved. I was like, there he is.
You're like, where did you come from? Oh, that's where you came from.
Yeah.
Peter, you created yourself.
Yep.
So is Spider-Man his own grandpa now? Is that how that works?
And something like that, yeah.
It's a Fry thing. It's a Fry paradox.
Yes.
Sort of deal going on. Because at the end of episode 9, Norman institutes the Spider-Man protocols in his office. And then it shows it's just all of his top scientists talking about a bunch of the projects they're working on. And that's when they mention, hey, we're working on spiders in Peter's blood.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off when they used the wizard instead of Miles Warren. That was your perfect chance to have the Jackal get his hands on Spider-Man's blood. But instead, it's the wizard for whatever reason.
Because we'll find out next season, perhaps. Because they don't find anything out about, basically episode 10 is, again, like I said, where it turns the season into an Ouroboros eating its own tail.
It's a loop-de-loop.
Big loop-de-loop.
A cosmic loop-de-loop, if you will.
Yes.
We open with Peter. This is the first, another example of Peter being late to his presentation. Nico jumps on a grenade and agrees to present first, which I thought was
drags it out.
And then just drags out her presentation to give him time to get there.
And I love how the teacher was like, that was long.
Spider-Man always being late. Schools have truant officers. Believe me, I know.
I was thinking the same thing, Mike. I'm like, I just roll into, what is this, third period?
By this time, once you've wrapped enough of these, that truant officer's coming to your house.
May's getting calls all the time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You're going before a district justice and explaining yourself eventually.
But yeah, Peter does make it there just in time, thanks to Nico's intervention with the diorama part of their presentation, which is totally destroyed. The teacher agrees to give them an A-.
It didn't look very good to begin with, Rob.
It was very basic.
For a guy who made his own web shooters, that was a pretty weak diorama.
Yeah,
you might as well have made a macaroni. It was not
right. It was just a bike chain.
Here in a box.
And
it was to explain rust.
Here it is.
Yep.
Oxidation. Here's what happened.
They score a sweet A- because the partner that we don't get a name for just nails the presentation partner. Like you're saying, selfie partner.
I loved that. Really that was so fun how she just pulled that out
and saves the grade.
Yeah. And so nonchalant because you see her like
and then at the end, right, she takes another selfie.
But she was on her phone. How do you know she wasn't just reading off Wikipedia the whole time?
Yeah, that was my concern.
I don't think you can have your phone during a presentation. I mean, I haven't been in school.
It's very chat GPT.
Right.
Then so they finish their presentation and we get Peter going back, or we go to Norman to show the interns the project they've been working on, which it turns out is an evil space portal.
Yep.
Sure is.
This, I hate to say it, it felt, Norman feels a lot like Age of Ultron Stark in this section, where he's just like, man, the aliens have been here. They're like, we're in trouble. We need to do something. And his solution is to make a portal to space.
I didn't quite get that. Why do you need a portal to space?
I don't know either. It was a weird jump in logic.
Was that meant to be a Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference with Project Monolith? They had the space monoliths.
I think it all boiled down to that initial fight at Midtown, and he was like, "Oh, well, this thing opened up. I can do that too." That's what I took it as.
Then everything is looping back on itself.
Yes,
that's the case.
Yes.
That was the only part that kind of went a little too far for me. That was a little too like super villainy for me. It
was.
Yeah.
But
I'm a space portal. I'm gonna destroy the moon. It was like really.
Yeah.
That's a little too broad strokes there.
That's why I was saying it kind of gave me that like the Stark at the beginning of Age of Ultron vibe, where he's like, I picture a suit of armor around the planet, and I'm like, that is insane talk, man. That is some super villain idea you've got.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but he was already an armor guy. That made sense. This was he wasn't like a space portal guy. I mean,
I guess we didn't know that Norman had a connection to space and portals. He's
just been obsessing about it this whole time. Like when we don't see his character, he's obsessing about space portals.
Just get some portals up.
Get that portal, man. Yeah.
They go to fire up the portal and it looks like it's opening, but oh, it's Doctor Strange there to tell him to don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Norman. I do like that he tries to exercise his authority as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, right. Didn't go over well.
The council is the Council of Sorcerers that he throws out there. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not supposed to mean something, but yeah. I love Strange in this like so much. Like, man, I want that figure.
Strange cannot stop them from opening the portal. They open the portal, and at first everything's fine, and then we get
then it's not.
Yep. I'm still saying clearly a symbiote. I can't think of anything.
Oh yeah,
it really was. It left behind drippings.
Yep.
Drippings.
Yep. We see him in the same form that we saw him fighting in episode 1 and then a battle breaks out. It comes through the portal. It's Strange and Peter versus this thing. Strange uses the Eye of Agamemnon's. I always mispronounce that thing. Uses the eye, triggers it to try and battle symbiote, and then as the symbiote tackles him through a portal, that's where we get the portal that went back to Midtown High, creating the entire damn show.
Yep.
There comes out little spider.
Yep. He throws Peter through the wall at one point, and he smashes into a bunch of the animal cages, including the spider from episode 1, which we watched.
I was so excited to see that spider. I was just it's like, oh my god, there it is! That's where it came from!
I know that guy.
I was so pumped.
That spider was giving your blood. Wait a minute. Are you gonna disappear? No, you created yourself. It's
a loop.
It was so cool. I loved it.
Close the loop on the spider. Yeah, they do. Because that spider is stuck in an infinite time loop too.
Yeah, poor little spider.
Through there.
The spider's like, damn it.
Captured by Osborn, injected with Peter's blood, sent back through the portal, captured by Osborn.
Oh, poor spider.
Other people in this world move forward. That spider is stuck.
Yeah,
he's like, this sucks.
This is my existence.
He didn't ask for it either.
The spider's villain origin story. Yeah, Brendan, 100%.
Yeah. Because what is it 6 months that we jump from when he gets bit to the first time he's Spider-Man? We jump ahead.
We jump over.
I don't know how long, but there is a time jump.
So that's how long the spider's entire existence is in perpetuity, forever living that same 6 months.
What is the lifespan of a spider, anyways? Though, so I mean,
infinite for that one.
Not to diminish the poor spider, but I mean, it's a spider.
I like JJ's idea that we should have a Groundhog Day. Yep, thank you. Episode all about what the spider does each loop.
This time, when they go to close the cage, make a go for it.
I love that.
So yeah, we see the spider drop down, and we're right back to where we started from. Strange kind of recognized what's going on. Spider, I've come to bargain.
Spider's like in a chair.
Oh, that would be amazing. Turns around, yes.
Mm-hmm. So we get that, and obviously, Strange and Spider-Man are able to force the symbiote back through the portal. You
That was a
see
cool scene.
when they reopen the portal, and it's just
Mhm.
all the tendrils there peeking
Yeah.
through.
Mhm.
Because then you have it's a cool little game they're playing in that fight where Strange is trying to hold the portal closed at that
God, I
point.
loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, while Peter's trying to like figure out a way to drag the other one through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally get him through, he has to shut the portal down. But as we were saying, one of the very last things right before the portal shuts down, just a little bit of that
Little
symbiote
dripping.
goo
The dripping.
ends up here.
The dripping. Yeah, and I
But
also
what-
love that scene. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Good. Is that
Oh,
going to set
I
up
was just gonna.
Norman as Venom? As a
That's-
Red Goblin nod?
That
Is it going to
is
set up
my-
Mac
that is my
Gargan Venom
question.
because he's failed his Scorpion, so now he'll get the symbiote? Is it going to be Eddie Brock out of nowhere?
I would tend to lean towards Norman because I think
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
with how much they're shifting him and that character, I think it would be cool, and especially because we see in the very last scene of this season, Norman finds that little piece of symbiote sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
And I feel that the Goblin Glider was just like a little red herring. Like, this is what you think's going to happen, but instead we're
I
going
could
to
see
do
that.
this.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it too, because I'm like, ooh, we're getting a whole other universe kind of thrown around here. They really are grabbing from so many different pieces of source material and putting it, and it's cohesive to me. I've been fine with how this entire season went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah,
and what I was gonna say, like, I like when Peter is bringing down the portal, because you see, I think that's also him tapping into more of his power, because that is a lot, and you see him pulling and having to put everything that he possibly has into bringing down that portal. So I loved that scene too. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, and all of that fight probably takes everything we've said is probably like the first half of the episode, and then we do just get a nice little like a calm finishing 10 of just flashes here and there. I really like what they're gonna do with Harry going forward.
Webb?
Yeah, that Nico's like, hey, you should just do this, but without your father's influence. So he's going to start a company, and he's notifying all the interns that they work with.
I loved how they did that, because they're like, can you do that? And he's like, I think I can. I think I can do that. And it was very nonchalant and fun. It was a fun way to do it.
And
I don't think Norman would take well to having his people headhunted by his son.
No. I know.
I feel but I feel like Norman got rid of all of the interns except one.
Yeah, Oscorp's got its own problems right now.
He was done with them, and they were fair game. Except
the
one that already had the office, like had the desk and everything, and you know.
Oh, Amadeus.
Yeah.
Because we see all these headlines of like Oscorp's in trouble for opening that portal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or those kids hightailed it out of there for that reason.
Of all the things that have happened, I'm like, this only affected Oscorp. I don't see how this is the thing that gets him in trouble.
Well, you got to worry about space creatures leaking through, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We do during that email scene too. We find out that Lonnie's been invited. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, nope.
That's when we see Lonnie get rid of it lying to his mom, and then getting rid of his letter jacket.
Yep.
And really embracing Tombstone. He's now officially the head of the 110s. So
his hands are spotting.
Yep. You can see some of the color changing beginning on his hands. It's a really cool touch. You find out one of the other interns is Finesse and is working behind the scenes with Daredevil.
That was one of the few characters I didn't even put together. That was who that was.
I don't think did they name her? I don't know if they.
I think they did. I think they did when they first introduced
briefly.
Oh,
yeah, but I never put the name together.
It was a flash. Like, it was so fast.
Yeah.
For some reason the interns like glossed over all of their names, and I'm like, I don't know. There's probably no one in here that I need to pay attention to.
Well, you had Amadeus Cho, who is a who's Gamma. I thought they'd bring him in for the whole Gamma, like tracking down Octavius, because he has a history in gamma radiation.
Well, Oscorp has to have some there, because there's no way that Norman's story is true, that like he got rid of Octavius because he was messing with gamma radiation and didn't like it. So, I mean, we could see if Amadeus stayed at Oscorp and gets access to that tech.
Yeah, true. That could be his arc.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, they really are setting up. The end of this sets up like so many different little plot lines that'll carry through the season 2. We get Norman finding the goo. We see the Watcher.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Curve in the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
I really like the relationship that Strange and Spider-Man have so quickly, like
me
instantly
too.
bonded.
I wouldn't mind if he ended up being his mentor. Like,
yeah,
I'd be fine with that.
Totally possible. I was waiting for something like that in that final scene. Their little dialogue back and forth at the end, and you see the Watcher in the background. Like, oh, but Strange reassures him that he's good. Whatever comes up, you can tackle it. We also
loved that.
The Nico scene, finishing out, paying off a little bit of the necklace. I didn't know what she was saying because it's in Latin, but I had the subtitles on the second watch through, and it translates them for you.
Oh, nice. What'd she say?
She is saying, "Spirit of the one I hold dear, return to the land of the living."
Oh, because she does say hi, Mom.
And then the next thing she says, "Hi, Mom."
Yeah.
So we get a little bit of that queued up. We obviously get the finesse in Web. We get the Norman with the symbiote goo. We get Doc Ock designing his suit in prison, which feels like someone should be stopping him.
Right?
Hey, dude, knock it off.
He's got paper taped all over the place.
That was such a cool shot, though. It was such a cool shot. I loved that so much. Like, but yeah. If I was security, I'd be like, hey, take that down.
Yeah.
Probably don't give a mad scientist access to
JJ. They don't name this multiverse that I can recall. I think we're just going along for the ride. I like to think of this as the off the page verse because of all the comic stylization.
It's a mix of like definitely comic book material, but then also a bunch of MCU thrown in too. So it's
MCU with like 60s, 70s era Marvel. It's very retro Marvel.
Very true. And I love that because you really like there's things you think are going to happen, but they're completely different. So for me,
then there's the big thing that you don't expect to happen at all.
Oh, the very last scene, second to the last scene when May is visiting someone in prison.
Oh yeah,
sorry, JJ.
And then we find out that person she's visiting is Peter's dad. Drops the question.
Boy, did I yell at the TV at that moment.
How's my son doing, May?
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. And again, that's why I said the last like 15 minutes of this episode were just like setting up a bunch of stuff for next season. And it is when it ends, I'm just like, oh, come on.
Now, has it officially been picked up for second season? Are we actually getting that second season?
Okay, that's good.
Please.
It'd be a shame if they set this all up and it's like, we just got it.
Well, yeah, because there's
Netflix
a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot to go over. I have a lot of questions.
Season 2
and 3.
2020.
Season 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Oh, 2 and 3. Okay, good.
2 and 3.
Even still, it's a lot to fit into 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Even with the efficient writing that these writers are producing, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Because they really only covered like the Scorpion's arc. The Scorpion arc is like the big. That's the big.
Yeah, that was
this
the big
entire season. And they've said.
And no offense to Scorpion, he's kind of like a very mid-tier character.
Yeah.
Very.
He's got a lot of bigger guns to get to.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. They've been hinting at so many because there's at least another 5 villains in this season that you're like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, you're a problem in the future.
Much larger villains.
Rhino, Chameleon, whatever Norman will be, Green Goblin or Venom.
Tombstone.
Who else? Tombstone.
Unicorn Bulldozer.
Unicorn.
Unicorn? You want unicorn, Mike? Listen, they can't all be big
No,
problems.
I'm not a unicorn fan. But...
Oh yeah, Lizard. We left Lizard.
Lizard, yeah.
Oh, Lizard.
right.
Yeah, Lizard.
Yeah.
Doc Ock
Mm-hmm.
still has to be dealt with.
Yeah, they hit on like all the heavy hitters in like Spider-Man, so it'll be interesting to see where they go next, what direction they're going to focus on.
He's not the wizard in this universe. He's the vulture in this universe, and that's how we get a vulture.
That could be it, like because it just you don't know.
It still pisses me off though. The wizard. He's a Fantastic Four villain. It's bad enough he spent half the season in his Fantastic Four costume when he was in his Future Foundation's costume. Why is this a Fantastic Four show all of a sudden? Get the wizard out of here.
Gotta tie it in.
Should have been Miles Warren. We could be having clones in season 3.
Now, I want to see what you've listed as stuff. Oh, a bunch of the character design.
Just a
Cool.
little 10 scene.
Yeah.
These are the fun things that happen in the post credits. You get all these great little character design markups to see how they went through the various stages. Scorpion was another one where I was like, man, that's a comic costume.
Yeah.
I dig that. And there you see the symbiote down on the bottom right.
Which I love the design of. They made it so like
He
a
was
mixture.
werewolfy.
Yeah, like like alien, like just I love this design. I would also take a figure of that. So, you know.
Yeah.
So basically just one of each, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
just one of
I would
each.
take a scorpion too.
Great. Yep.
I'll take that scorpion. I'd take that Ock. I'd take a symbiote.
Oh, that
I'd get a Dr. Octopus too. It's very classic look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's so. What are the things? Oh, stuff and things. The other design.
And then all of these suits, like I love like the design. Like I know Spider-Man, like it's like very classic Spider-Man design, but I've always for some reason loved the little spider emblem, like when it's all tiny in the middle of the chest, like they did with this. He's so cute. He's so perfect. I love the like. They have to come out with this. Like this is a must.
Oh, yeah.
And this, like,
it was great when they finished out in that suit. You know, after spending the season kind of going through so many incarnations, it's like, just finish on the classic.
I hope they carry it through next season though. You can get like Web make some suits for various tasks. You get your web armor.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
Get your insulated Electro suit, which we haven't introduced Electro yet. But
Dwayne,
I'm sure
I'd like to see a twist on Lizard where she is good.
Oh, so don't have her eat her own child like Kurt did?
Maybe not that part. But yeah, I mean, listen, if it's an accidental exposure in an experiment that she wasn't trying to necessarily grow it back, maybe, I don't know. Lizard's a real wild card to be like, that's a good character. Bit of a monster.
Again, though, you don't know with this series, which is what I really, really like. Like you just
there you go with this.
I mean, right off that, Peter's got a dad. We don't know why he's in prison.
Peter's Poppy's in jail.
Right.
He's doing.
I mean, they were spies in the comics. So is he just
Yeah.
going to be a spy, or is he going to be?
That's what I was. It's true. Because obviously Peter doesn't know, and
What happened to Peter's mother?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like
she's not in jail.
His father may have done nothing wrong. He could be in there for other reasons. In there,
he seems sleazy to me.
You think
he seems sleazy?
They seem like they're making him a little sinister.
Sleazy vibes. Because with Peter should be able to access the information. If his dad was just arrested for something normal,
right,
and put in prison, like he would definitely know or be able to Google it.
Right.
Just the way he asked me, so how's my son? I was like, ooh, I don't like you. I already don't like you. Like,
we haven't heard. I don't think Peter mentions his parents at all in this series.
No, I don't think he does. Yeah,
he never does. They have May and him have the whole conversation about Ben, but he's never like.
Yeah.
No, he does not mention his parents.
He might know Dad's a scumbag in jail.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know how that's true.
Yeah.
The movie,
that's very true.
The The movie Charlie Bartlett, you assume the dad's dead the whole time. Nah, he's in jail for tax evasion. And he just like says he's dead instead.
That's very true, though.
Why did Missy drop a Charlie Bartlett? Robert Downey Jr. and Charlie Bartlett.
and Anton.
Charlie Bartlett did an obscure drop there, Missy.
But you have a high school kid who you assume the entire time that the parents are, or that the dad's dead, and then he's not. Was Anton?
Yeah. No, that's interesting because watching, like, as the audience, you assume the audience is going to assume that Peter thinks his parents are dead, and you're like, oh, his dad's alive. But maybe he knows, and he's just a sleazebag.
Yeah, I mean, they don't make it sound like he's been with May and Ben for all that long. So
no, you kind of get the impression that Ben passed really soon.
Recently,
Peter got there.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope
the rings become more and more like it's possible.
What a twist!
Peter's dad killed Uncle Ben.
It could happen.
It could happen. I don't think May would be visiting him though.
I mean, at least he didn't say how's our son doing and get that soap opera.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah. Aunt May's not really my Aunt May. What?
My mother, my aunt.
Mom May.
Mom May.
Oh, no. We should not be rating the show. Not take
or maybe we should. I mean, it sounds pretty scandalous.
Yeah.
Oh, but they don't end on that bombshell. They end instead on a slightly happier note as we see Spider-Man embracing his new role, jumps off a building and swings through New York gracefully this time. He's no longer running along the buses or hitting the walls. He's just swinging, throwing it out there.
He's got a hang of it.
Yep.
I still maintain riding stuff would be more efficient. I mean,
absolutely.
You're just wasting webbing.
Absolutely. Which did come as a problem to him when he fought Scorpion the first time. It was a real problem when he ran a webbing. Never again. Never again. But that wraps season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Hope everyone else watched it and enjoyed it. And I hope if you did, you're considering this fella. I forget what the link was. This one, Peter P. I think that show / Peter P.
Not sure.
I'll check it. I think Peter P. does it. Sure does. Side.show / Peter P. will take you for your chance to pre-order the Hono's Spider-Man homemade suit, which we started the season off in. We're hoping that we get some more suits, but if no other suits, I'm happy with this one.
We got to get more suits.
All the suits.
I mean, my wallet doesn't want any more suits, but I want more suits.
But your brain wants all the suits.
They're Hono suits. They're nice, affordable suits. If you're gonna do suits, do them Hono.
I really appreciate like the price point for the it's great.
And like I said, I just love the just kind of the practicality of this being the homemade suit because he has his tank full of webbing down here. It's connected with a log of stupid
I love his little knee pads and his little sneakers. Like
safety first.
The knee pads are so cute.
Totally protected now.
Do you think he actually put that spider emblem on, or do you think there's like a Long Island Spiders hockey team?
Some like minor
AAA hockey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do like we find out when he knows
gets a cease and desist in the mail of stop using our logo.
I can't use this.
When him and Pearl are hanging out and he knows a bunch about argon. And she's like, well, I don't even know what argon's used for. He's like, welding. You do a lot of welding? And he's like,
for his bracelets.
Yeah,
for
my bracelets.
My bracelets.
For my Etsy side hustle.
He's not lying. They're kind of like bracelets.
Just like bracelets. He welded himself apparently and taught himself.
He has a cricket. Nice.
Fancy.
Oh, we already established he's using Aunt May's sewing machine, so cricket's not that far off.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
Even though he pours the DVD player out of what?
Oh, is it Ben?
I think it's Ben for some reason. I feel like anytime that May needs to find like something that they shouldn't have regularly, she's like, here's Ben's old VCR.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, for all you know, Ben and Pete's dad were like robbing stuff, and they just have all this merch in the back.
Oh, maybe.
It turns out that apartment's actually 3 bedrooms, and the third one's just filled with a bunch of boxes of everything they stole.
TVs that fell off the back of a truck. Ben got shot and escaped. They caught Pete's dad, and
Oh, that's funny.
It's going to get dark. Season 2 is going to get dark.
Yeah, if we write it, it will. It'll get real weird. So thankfully, we're not.
I absolutely loved this season. I cannot wait for the second season. Can't wait.
It was a
Amazing
good
series.
recommendation, Rob. I know you were pushing it from the start, and we all kind of went, maybe eventually.
Yeah.
Good call.
Very thankful.
You redeemed
that
yourself from your Marvels recommendation.
I still like
Oh,
Marvels.
yeah. You were not happy about that.
Still like Marvels. But speaking of other things Marvel,
Yes.
this has not been officially posted to any of our social channels yet. If you're here right now, you get first dibs at your chance. We're running a Yelena 6-scale giveaway. Go to side.show/pockets to enter now for your chance to win a Yelena 6-scale figure. The contest just opened. We have not pushed it on any of our social channels yet. It's sitting there quietly waiting. So you can get in now, get your entries in. This runs till Thursday, correct?
Till Thursday. Yep.
The release of the Thunderbolts.
Yep.
Oh, God, that movie
Might be some special
I am
deals on
looking forward
Thursday
to
coming up too.
Yeah, it's good.
It's looking so. Every time I see a new trailer, I'm like, I'm here for this.
It looks.
That's all I care about.
Super fun.
I called the Red Guardian. I called the limo service this couple days, like last week or something. Because you guys do that.
No, I didn't do it yet.
No, I didn't.
Oh, if you flash a phone number up in a ad or a TV, like as something like that, I will always call it. So
that's amazing.
So there's an ad where he's hyping up his limo service. You can call the number and this is a little Red Guardian spiel about how he has a 2-car.
Oh, nice.
Very strong.
I mean, I did that with the Terrifier.
I can drive you all night.
Yeah, I can drive you all night.
They did that with Terrifier 3, where you got a number, and that was fun. So yes.
Yeah. So I am all on board for.
Nice. Yeah, it looks super fun. I'm excited for it.
I was like, just everyone knows, I was sick most of this weekend, and it frustrated the hell out of me because for the first time I looked at like what movies were playing. And there was like 4 movies that I would have seen this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
And now we're heading right into Thunderbolts. I'm like, man, I gotta start catching some of these at some point.
Well, yeah, you'll be free next weekend, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Apparently
you sure will.
I have lots of time next weekend to watch all the movies that I want. I'll go watch Revenge.
Enjoy, Rob. Enjoy your Thunderbolts.
I'll go watch Sinners.
Sinners. Yeah, I want to see that. There's a lot.
Until Dawn. Have you watched? Until Dawn looks stupid good. No reason.
I don't think I've watched.
Yeah, what's that?
It's based on the video game.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, where you're trying to like
sick.
that story-driven game where you're trying to get people to survive the night. It's based on that game, and they're telling it so that like every time they all die, they start back at the beginning of the night, so they have to survive till dawn. Until dawn.
Okay.
And Jesse, you'll love this. They used almost exclusively practical effects for all their monsters. Practical monsters.
Epic.
Looks so good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see that. Oh, and Steve saw Sinners over the weekend, so it was really good.
Yeah,
sweet.
I was like,
God,
man.
Until Dawn. I'm gonna watch a trailer after this because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it looks good. But that's all we have for you guys today. Join us on Thursday. We'll be talking some stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna basically kind of lay out what to expect for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for you guys, because hopefully we'll know by then.
We'll tell you what to expect when we know what to expect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So we'll see you guys all on Thursday. Until then, if you haven't watched Spider-Man, watch Spider-Man. And don't forget to let your geek side show. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Go Rich for
Bye, everyone.